So, push session, new push session. I love it. Let's get stuck in, people. Exercise number one, a new exercise I have added to my routine in the last 4 or 5 weeks are the ring dips. Now, ring dips wasn't my first choice. I chose this exercise to see would it benefit my pressing strength, more specifically my bench press strength, because of that lack of stability. The fact that I'm shaking so much. My thought process behind that is that if those stabilizers get stronger, that when it comes to like pressing something that is more stable, that I will be able to press more. I don't know if it's going to work out that way. There's mixed opinions online. People are saying that's silly, don't train that way. It's going to have no added benefit. Some people say that's a very smart thing to do. So I just thought, do it myself and see if it actually works. So I took that approach. But the ring dips were my second choice. My first choice was to purchase a bamboo bar. Have you ever seen those bamboo bars where there's like bands, kettlebells dangling off bands, and it's like not heavy weight, but you see big dudes really struggle to press. It's that lack of stability. I was more interested in doing that, but a bamboo bar, brand new, was like 600 quid, and then whatever delivery was. No. We don't want to do this. The rings were very fairly priced. They came in at €38, I think. So I was like, yeah, I'll go with that one. So I've been doing these the last 5 weeks. Started off with bodyweight, and I've been enjoying progressing them. Fun, new exercise, different. Not for the faint-hearted. I would not recommend these to a lot of people. I certainly do not do these with any of my in-person clients at this moment in time. There is that danger of, if you mess up and you let a hand go out here, that you can mess yourself up. I wouldn't recommend this exercise to most people. If you're not even doing dips, you have no experience doing regular dips, then maybe start there and see how you get on, and then try and do this exercise. Now, with that being said, this exercise is fantastic. What I discovered with this exercise is an amazing chest pump. Unique enough chest pump. That's quite nice. I have a feeling my chest is going to see a lot of progress from doing this exercise. Like I said, that wasn't really the goal. I wanted to strengthen those stabilizers to improve my overall pressing strength and to carry over to my bench press strength. Don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. I'd imagine it's going to have some carryover. But my pecs are getting worked harder. If you get your pecs bigger, that increases your strength potential, which that will help you bench more. So in some way, it is going to affect my pressing strength in a positive manner. If you're going to go for this exercise, start off with bodyweight and progress really slow. I've worked up to 20 kilos for the last few sessions. Today I tried 25 kilos attached to me for 6 reps, and that was challenging. And boy oh boy, doing this first, this really, do your warm-up sets, because this really, like, that's so taxing and it stretches everything out. Everything feels clunky and sore initially. That might have just been the way I was feeling today, because my body feels so beat up. But yeah, do warm-up sets. I might do, like, I'll really warm up my shoulders with some banded stuff before going into this exercise, like some band pull-aparts, shoulder rotations, just things like that. And it does make me feel a little bit better. And then I might do 2-3 reps bodyweight on the ring dips, and those first reps hurt like hell. And then I go back to it again, do another 2 reps, they feel a bit better. And then I'll add weight to it, and that feels better again. And then, like, with that weighted set, depending on how it feels, that might be a warm-up set, or I might just keep going, that might be a working set. But I'm doing 3 sets in total here. And what I love about this exercise is that I've swapped this exercise for the bench press. I'm still bench pressing, but only once a week now. I did not like benching twice a week, but it was the price I was willing to pay to bench 170 kilos this year. But now that I can take that away and replace it with this, it saved me so much time, because I usually spent ages warming up on the bench press. Yeah, so time consuming. So it's just really nice that I can just go straight into this. I'm pretty much into my working sets without too much riffraff. After that one, we're going into our dumbbell shoulder press. That's staying in. And this is an important point I'm going to make. I'm pretty much on a new program, but I've kept a lot of the same exercises I'm doing. There's a few new exercises sprinkled in, but I've kept most of the exercises I was doing previous. I've kept them in. If you do a new exercise, it will be a while before you make any gains, because the first gains that are going to happen are neurological gains, meaning your brain and your body, they have to learn and register the movement first. That might take anywhere from like a period of 4 to 8 weeks. And then after that period, your body's going to start adjusting and you're going to start seeing some physical and visual gains from the movement you're doing. So if you were to switch up absolutely everything, then it would take a long time before you see progress. So you don't switch up something for the sake of it. Have a reason why you're switching it up. And my reason for switching up the bench press was because I'm already doing it. I'm still doing it. I'm just taking away the second day. And it was time consuming, and I didn't like benching twice a week. There are 3 good reasons to switch up a movement. The dumbbell shoulder press, I'm still plugging away at that. I still want to get strong at that. I want to maintain my strength with that movement. And I've seen so much progress in my delts. It could be from a lot of my pressing movements, could be from the bench press as well. But I got really strong with the dumbbell shoulder press. I lift with good technique and full range of motion. I'm going to give a lot of the shoulder gains this year. I'm going to give the shoulder press a lot of credit. So I'm keeping that in. The dumbbell shoulder press, I'm keeping that at 2 to 3 sets. It depends on the day. That's like a little bit of auto regulation. Like if I'm not feeling too good, then I'm not going to do 3 sets. Today, as an example, I only did 2 sets. I did a top and a back off set, but usually I will do 3 sets. And I've talked about the way I perform the shoulder press before. It's a little bit unorthodox compared to other movements. I will perform a warm-up set of like 30 kilos for 4 or 5 reps. Then I will go into my first working set of 45 kilos, and I will leave 2 reps in the tank for that first set, because I feel like that primes me and prepares me a little bit better for lifting 50 kilos for the second set. So why that's unorthodox is because usually you would start your first set with your heaviest weight, because that's when you're fresh. But the shoulders, for me, I just don't feel ready to, like, if I did 30 kilos for 4 reps and then did 45 for 1 or 2 reps, I just don't feel, I've tried it, I just don't feel ready to press 50. Whereas I feel like leaving 2 or 3 reps in the tank with 45, that just gets my shoulders more prepared to lift heavy ass weight. So that second set is my heaviest set, and then I'll drop, depending on how I feel, I'll drop down to either 45 or 40 for the last set, and I'll just see what I can get. Some days it's 5 reps, 6, 8, 10 if it's a really good day. But I'm obviously going to try and keep progressing that over time. Next, we are on to dips. So this is a little bit unorthodox as well, perhaps doing 2 styles of dips on the same day. But to be honest, I did this because I could have programmed dips on the next day. But I like, the next day I'm in a different gym. I'm in a gym in Galway. I like doing dips in our gym here in Tuam. While it feels good for me, it mightn't feel good for someone else who might be 6 foot, longer limbs. That dip station mightn't feel good for you. But somewhere someone else will. That made no sense. But somewhere someone else will.
Tire marks. Catch your rooftop in the wind. When I win, no, when I win a leg up like she got hoes on call. Got hoes on call to come through, take a protocol. My joint, trick, crack, rap, boy, till the back.
You get what I'm saying? We have a lovely dip station, so that's also the reason why I'm doing dips on the same day I'm doing ring dips. There's been no negative consequences or impact in doing two styles of dips in the same day. If anything, the dips are progressing really well. Just last week, I hit a PB. I'm weighing about 97 kilos right now, and I attached 70 kilos last week for my top set on dips and got 6 reps. And my previous best when I was doing dips at the start of last year, I was weighing around 84 kilos and I attached 80 kilograms to me and got 4 reps. Now, if you take my body weight and the weight I was doing last week and compare it to my body weight last year and the weight I was doing, it's in and around the same weight it works out as. But what I did last week is only like a few kilos heavier, plus I got an extra 2 reps, which is really exciting because I've only added dips in the last 5-6 weeks, and I've already worked up to this. So I'm really excited to see where I can take my weighted dips. At some point, I will want to attach 80 again, 90 to me, and eventually 100 kilos. 100 kilos dips are happening. Regardless of what body weight I'm at, I'm strapping 100 kilos to myself, and that will happen at some point. So yeah, with weighted dips, I'm only doing 1 set normally, maybe a back off set. If like last week, I worked up to 70 kilos for 6. I was really happy with that set, so I left it there. And today, I was kind of like beat up today. I did 50 kilos for 7 reps, and that's not my best performance, so I dropped down to 30 kilos and went close to failure. I left either 1 or 2 reps in the tank, got 30 for 12. And why I'm doing that is because I'm very happy with my chest development, which is like where I feel it gets the most pumped after doing dips. I'm happy with my chest development. So maybe you want to do another extra set, that's fine. Do it, do quality work, go hard, train close to failure. But I'm just happy with the size of my pecs. I have been for a long time. They've always been a strong body part for myself. Take your time with them. They're tough movements. They're similar to pull-ups. They're like the push version of pull-ups. People underestimate body weight movements, how hard they are. They're quite difficult. Dips, when I first started doing them years ago, initially they did not feel good, and I think they felt like too sore on my shoulders, so I left them. So if you're going back doing dips, take your time and try to train with a full range of motion. Maybe you're not ready to go into that deep stretch with dips yet. So what I would recommend is getting really strong on your dumbbell pressing and get used to getting the deep stretch on dumbbell pressing, push-ups. Try push-ups with the neutral grips so you can get an even deeper stretch. And it's kind of mimicking dips because you are in a neutral grip position. You're holding the bars like this, and that's kind of the same. And if you're someone who trains you're training with not a full range of motion, like you are leaving some room there to get down even lower, then I would suggest doing that with dumbbells and push-ups or barbells first, prior to trying to get strong at dips. Yes.
In video.
Doing a bit of video, yeah.
Actually, I have a question.
Why?
Where is Only in America from? Because, right?
White chicks.
Your mother's ass is so hairy, it looks like Don King's about to pop out and say, "Only in America."
Now, if you're someone who's in the position to do dips right now, when you are about to set yourself out from the bars, press your hands into those bars hard and almost push yourself away, because it's very easy to get into like this shrug position and it feels and looks really uncomfortable. So press your palms into the bar really hard and almost push yourself away from it, and then lean forward a little bit if we're trying to lift the most weight possible, because we're going to bring our chest into it. If we are more upright, it's going to be a little bit more tricep. So lean forward while pressing the bars into the hard, pressing your hands into the bars very hard, and initiate by breaking at the elbows first and go right down as deep as you can go, as deep as your shoulder mobility will allow. You get more comfortable doing that the more and more you do it, the more and more you expose yourself to it. And then of course, begin adding weight as soon as you can. Spend a lot of time on dips, talking about dips there, but I love that exercise. I'm really happy to have that back. It's exciting, it's a new challenge again. And after dips, we are going on to the dumbbell lateral raise. Talked about this movement before. I love the dumbbell lateral raise. There's no messing with it. You pick up 2 dumbbells, you get locked into position, and you go hard. All I'll say on it is try to get really strong with the movement. It's one of those movements that people pick up the same weights all the time because they want to go for high reps. It's typically more a high rep movement. It's not like something like a bench press or a shoulder press where the reps can obviously come down really low because you can lift really heavy with those movements. But then people limit themselves when it comes to the dumbbell lateral raise and don't try to get strong because they're just like, oh yeah, I need to like really feel the muscle and I really need to isolate the shoulder area. It's like, treat it like all your other movements. Try to get strong at it. And plus, even if you're trying to lift too heavy for your first set, and then you drop down for your subsequent sets, like sets 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5, however many sets you're doing, those sets, the weight you normally do will now feel a little bit easier. So you might even get 1 or 2 or 3 more reps with the weight that is usually challenging for you with whatever rep range you're choosing, 10 to 12, 12 to 15. And it's going to show you that you're actually stronger with that movement than what you think. And on the lateral raise, I'm doing 3 sets, 1 top set, like heavy set of like 6 to 10 reps, and the next 2 sets I'm dropping the weight down. I'm doing more like 10 to 12 or 12 to 15 for the second one, and then the last set I might drop down again, and I'm going all out. I'm going for 15 plus reps, could be 20. My shoulders feel super pumped. I'm able to utilize different rep ranges. It feels really good. Next then, I'm on to my tricep isolation work. Again, I'm sticking with 2 movements that were in the previous program. The tricep straight bar, tricep press down. I recently hit a PB in this. I got the full stack and I was quite happy with my technique as well. So I'm going to keep plugging away at this movement, trying to get more reps and potentially adding just a little bit more weight to the stack over time. But like I said, last week was a good day. It doesn't mean that the next time I go in, I'm going to be full stacking this machine again. That's may or may not happen. But now that I've done it once, it's a good sign. It means I'm going that direction. What I want you to take away from watching the videos of me doing the tricep work here is that I'm trying to stay locked into the movement. I'm trying not to cheat. Like, it's hard to do as you're getting close to failure. So if it happens, it's okay, but try not to. So I'm trying to just have the movement come from elbow to wrist and like a little bit of shoulder, because I don't just do this. I like it. I feel my triceps more when I allow my shoulders to lift and go down. I'm trying to just keep that movement pattern. I don't want to be like moving my torso too much, which you'll maybe see that happens a little bit. It sounds obvious. It's like, yeah, man, like no shit. But if you're really training close to failure, that shit is hard to do. It's really hard to stay locked in and keep trying to bias an isolated area when you're pushing close to failure. Your body's freaking out. Like in some of these videos you're watching, you can see my body is like vibrating, it's shaking. And like every ounce of me wants to cheat or just wants to stop, but I'm trying my best to stay locked in and keep that same movement pattern while I'm approaching failure. If you can do that, that's a skill in and of itself. If you can do that, you'll see great gains, okay? So that's the tricep press down. I'm doing 3 sets. The first set is like a heavier set and the next 2 sets are a little bit lighter. I like that. I like that way of training. And we're on to then our overhead tricep rope extension. I've been doing this movement for a while now. I absolutely love it. I've seen tricep gains from it. It targets the long head of the tricep a little bit more. The long head is typically the larger part of the triceps. So if you can get that muscle big, if you can work on that muscle a little bit more, your triceps will look a lot bigger in time. The change I've made to this is, I do this twice a week. I do it the next day as well. But the change I've made to this session is that I'm bringing the preacher bench over to the cable stack, turning it around, and I'm using that as a way to sort of stabilize myself a little bit more, and it feels really, really good. I can sit down, lock myself in, and get a real nice stretch behind me. It's more or less the same movement, like adding a preacher bench or kneeling down to improve the stability of the movements. They're more or less the same thing. So you don't need to try and copy this. I would just go on your knees and start doing it that way, because for most people, you're training in a public gym. I wouldn't do it. But I have the luxury of training in a private gym, and I can do these things and not be in people's way. But just with this movement, just allow for that full stretch. Allow your arms to get pulled right back. And I like to keep my hands closer together as opposed to just separating them out. By keeping them closer together, I'm biasing the end range and the mid range a little bit more as opposed to the shortened range at the top. And that feels really good for me. I feel like I'm getting the most bang for my buck. Keeping my hands closer and biasing the bottom end range to mid range a little bit more. I can lift more weight doing that, and typically you want to be biasing the stretch position of movement a little bit more. I know there's a lot of studies and people talking about training in this fully stretched position. That's all the rage lately. It's not to say that the shortened position isn't going to offer you any benefit, or you're not going to see growth from it. You absolutely would, and I recommend to do a mixture of both. But separating the ropes, whether it be overhead or even doing ropes like tricep rope extensions the normal way like this, it never felt good for me. Trying to really like stretch my arms out wide and really bias that squeeze position. I could never lift a lot of weight. I felt like I didn't get a good connection with the movement, didn't enjoy it. So for me, that was no good. But doing it this way, ooh, love it. It's very tasty, very comfortable. I can lift more weight, and I feel like I can progress on it a little bit more, and my triceps have grown. So that's enough reason for me to keep doing it this way. And I also do 3 sets here, taking the same approach as the last exercise. Higher weight on the first one to see where I'm at, strength wise, and then like the last 2 sets I'm decreasing the weight and increasing the reps, more for like that 12 to 15. So the phone cut me off there because storage filled up, but I think we were at the end of the video anyways. That is the layout of my new push session. I've been running it for the last 5 weeks, and I have to say it's been going great so far. So hopefully you took something away from this video. If you have any questions about my program, or you want to ask me anything about yours, feel free to comment below and I will get back to you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be a different video. It'll be a good one.